Hey, sports card collectors and investors, how's everybody doing today? It's Saturday. For all of you that missed my video last night on soccer cards, my soccer card mail day, the AC is out here. So we're really kind of struggling along. I am going to have a temporary AC unit that's coming this afternoon, and I think they're going to put the new unit in on Tuesday. Man, it's never a good time to replace an AC unit, but it's about 90 degrees here, so I'm hoping that we can get that temporary unit in, and it does at least gives us some sort of relief. Just in case you see kind of like the beads of sweat forming, I just want to kind of give some context as to why that's happening. So, guys, Mavericks Clippers last night. Yeah, it was a struggle to watch. We don't know what our guy Luka is, what his prognosis is. Is he going to be back? It didn't look great. I'll be honest, throughout the whole game, he just seemed a little bit off. I think that I don't know if he necessarily injured it this game. I think that it's something that's been kind of nagging, this lower body thing, this ankle injury that he's got. I'm just curious. I mean, obviously it got worse last night, but he just didn't look quite right. And, I'm interested in seeing what happens with it. There's supposed to be an MRI today. Kawhi Leonard was an absolute surgeon. That's a guy where, my gosh, he's robotic. I mean, it doesn't seem like anything phases him. And, you just see like that guy's playing the whole game as if, whether there's a lead, whether they're down by 10, up by 10, Kawhi Leonard is a cool customer that just gets stuff done. And it was incredible. Paul George continues to struggle, but Kawhi just does his thing. And the Clippers are just so deep. They've got guys that contribute from everywhere. They're an incredible team. They just are. I just don't see, maybe the Lakers and maybe the Mavs can pull out some sort of magic. Maybe the Unicorn can drop 50 points every night and get them over the hump. Seth Curry is an absolute lights out shooting monster. He's just been on fire. I almost felt like, give Seth Curry the ball every single time. Today we are going to cover 6 sports cards that have been on the move, that have been, rising, falling. I'm going to use the card ladder data tool. Let me just say that the card ladder is not the end all be all. There are multiple data tools. I say this for every video just because I want to make sure I'm absolutely 1,000% clear. That there's many data tools. You don't have to use any data tools if you don't want to, and these are not cards that I own personally. So we're just going over cards that I thought kind of look interesting, that have been trending, and kind of open up that discussion. I want to know what you guys think of these cards, if you own any of these cards. I like to get into the comments with viewership and talk about it. So we will go ahead and dive right in. And the first card I'm going to cover is the 1986 Fleer Charles Barkley rookie card PSA 10. Sir Charles hasn't played in the league in a while, but he's hilarious as a commentator, or not as a commentator, but as an analyst. I was watching him last night, and those guys, Shaq and Charles and those guys going back and forth, Kenny, they're hilarious. So, he's still one of those big personalities that's out there. But man, his 86 Fleer rookie card, and this is a card that was already popular. It's not like it was low and now it's skyrocketed. I mean, this thing was already high. I mean, if we look at May 7th, this thing was there's sales at about $4,500, $4,600. There's now a recent sale at $7,999. So, we're talking about, 90 days? In 90 days, this thing has almost doubled. It's gone up quite a bit, and Charles isn't playing. So, it just shows you that for those that think of 86 Fleer as vintage, it is the most iconic basketball set. And so Barkley, Hall of Fame player, rookie card in a PSA 10. I'm sure what a lot of people are looking at too is just how all these other rookie cards, and especially in PSA 10 for those 86 Fleers, there's a huge price difference between PSA 10 and PSA 9 in that 86 Fleer set. So maybe people are just thinking like, look, this thing has got room to run. It's, maybe at 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, it's still a value. The one card that sticks out to me too, and again, I'm crossing over, 86 Topps Jerry Rice, PSA 10. That card is literally at $20,000, $25,000. Now, Rice, greatest receiver of all time. Some will argue with me on that. There's a card I'm going to cover that kind of adds a little bit of debate to it in this video. But, I think when you see cards like that going for 25 grand, then you're looking at Barkley 86 Fleer, and it's like maybe that could go to 25,000, and maybe that's how people are analyzing it. I don't know. But that is a card that's still it's remained red hot, and that 86 Fleer set just keeps on trucking. All right, next up, I am going to cover a LeBron card. I usually don't cover LeBron cards just because there's so many. I mean, they've all been on the rise, so it's kind of like just beating a dead horse. This is one though that I wanted to point out just because it's a lesser known. It's a 2003 LeBron James star rookie card in a BGS 9.5. Now, granted, there is some variance with BGS 9.5. What are the subgrades? And of course, based on those subgrades, pricing can change. But even with that said, this card back in end of February 20th, is at $275. Sales are at $275. It's now a $2,700 card. It's gone up 10 times in the last 6 months. And that's like a lot of LeBron James cards have. But I think it's just interesting how it's just trickled down from that. The Topps Chromes and those types of rookies just coming on down to everything else, pushing everything else up. Everybody wants a piece of that 2003 LeBron rookie card year. All right, next up, we're talking about Shaq Daddy. And I think the thing with Shaq's cards that is kind of tricky is that his rookie was 1992. So it's literally like mass production central where they literally printed like a zillion Shaq rookie cards. So when people are like, man, I can't believe how this Fleer Ultra rookie isn't more Stadium Club, etc. It's just that, I think that there's just so much that was printed in the early 90s that there's so much supply out there that's kind of suppressed pricing a little bit. The card I'm going to cover, though, is a 1992 Topps Shaq Gold. So I know when I'm talking about this, people are like, oh my gosh, my 92 Topps Shaqs are worth something. It's not necessarily just the base. This is the gold I'm talking about. This is a card that was $800 back in April, so about 100 days ago or so, and now it's $2,400. It's tripled over the last 4 months. So, I mean, Shaq is starting to get some love. And his cards, even if you go down to the stuff that's more mass-produced, like the Fleer Ultra, the Stadium Club stuff, we've talked about the Beam Team, which is less mass-produced. Those cards have gone up. So, but this one was an interesting one because that 92 Topps, and I don't know if it's just that Topps brand, but been a very popular card over the last couple of months. So, I wanted to cover that. I wanted to give Shaq, talk about Shaq a little bit because I think I've got a Fleer Ultra rookie card of his raw. I've got a couple of his raw rookie cards, but nothing crazy for Shaq. But you just look and his stuff is starting to move up. And this guy's not only was he one of the best centers of all time, but he's won multiple championships, but he's larger than life figure. He's an analyst along with Barkley. He's in movies. He's in music videos. I mean, this guy is everywhere. He's not just a basketball player. He is a global celebrity. So I'm happy to see Shaq getting some love over the last few months. All right, we were talking about the 86 Topps Jerry Rice selling for so much. The 1998 Topps Chrome Randy Moss and a PSA 10. Back in May, this card was $340. It's now sitting at about $1,000. So, and again, that's kind of like, there's a big debate as to, best receivers of all time. There's many different viewpoints on this. Jerry Rice is kind of the one that's right there at the top. Randy Moss, though, is talked about by a lot of people, especially newer generation that saw him play. A lot of people, a lot of the younger folks didn't see Jerry Rice play very much. But they did see Randy Moss dominate. And so that's kind of that LeBron MJ debate. I think, when you're talking about, the greatest of all time at certain positions, Randy Moss is a guy that people remember, and rightfully so. He absolutely dominated the league. I remember when he came out for the Vikings with Chris Carter back in the late 90s, he set the world on fire. And so not a surprise at all that Moss's rookie cards have gone up like they have, but they've gone up to $1,000 now for a PSA 10. Very interesting. What do you guys think of this? Is Randy Moss to you a good buy? And this also, I'm kind of wondering, does that trickle down again into this upcoming football season where we have talked about, it was basically a QB only investment type deal with NFL cards, with pro football cards. Now we're seeing a little bit more hobby love for running backs, wide receivers, etc. Is that kind of part of what we're going to see? Are we going to see some more love as this football season starts? I'm interested to see that. All right, next up I'm going to talk about arguably the hottest card in soccer. I mean, it probably is. It's the 2018 Prism World Cup, Kylian Mbappe, PSA 10. This thing has absolutely skyrocketed. And I made a video last night about soccer cards, some of my soccer card pickups. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make another video over the next couple of days over kind of the why as to why I'm getting into soccer cards as well. Just so much room for growth, possibly. I throw kind of that asterisk down there because we really don't know. We're in uncharted territory with not just sports cards, but especially filter that down to soccer cards, where soccer stickers were mostly collected, and then over the last 4 or 5 years, we've had some new sets come out with that are Panini products that people are now really digging into and buying up. So we're in uncharted territory here, folks. But this Mbappe card has gone from $925 at the end of April to over 10 G's recently. $10,201 sale, which I thought, honestly, before I looked this up, I thought this was a $5,000 card, which I already thought was high. And then I saw that it's a $10,000 card now. It's just mind-boggling. And this is and I guess this is like Mbappe is considered, I guess, the LeBron of soccer right now. What are your thoughts on this? I know I have some soccer viewers. Is this crazy, or is this just everything catching up? I would like to hear this. And I'm sure for longtime soccer card collectors, you're probably thinking this is crazy in the same fashion that, longtime basketball, football, baseball card collectors are as well, because they've been in it over the long term. Hockey card collectors, let me include you as well, sorry. Cricket card collectors, I know we talked about it. Cricket's the #2 watch sport in the world, guys. Let's get on some cricket stickers. I'm joking, sort of. I'm joking because I know what's going to happen is I'm not going to buy any cricket stickers, and then next week I'm going to look and cricket stickers are $10,000, and I'm going to be kicking myself. Anyways, but I digress. So that is Mbappe. We're going to move on to the last card. I wanted to cover this one because I thought it was interesting. The Last Dance documentary with the Bulls came out in April, and of course you had a bunch of players involved. MJ cards and a lot of other players went through the roof. I'm going to talk about 88 Fleer, Scottie Pippen rookie cards, and a PSA 10. And this is kind of showing, the one thing I wanted to see with this is, are cards just skyrocketing because of the documentary, and then are they going to drop and then kind of go back to where they were? Or is this just a kind of a blip in the radar where it goes up, it comes down, it goes back up again? The Scottie Pippen rookie card is an example where April 12th, this thing shot up to $2,600 during the documentary hype, all the hype of the documentary. At the end of March, it drops down to $1,625, so down $1,000. Recent sales have it back up to $2,491. So of course, we're thinking like, is it just a documentary pushing prices up? But now Scotty's back up to documentary hype prices. Is it going to stay there? Is it going to grow? Is it going to fall? Very interesting stuff to watch, guys. What do you think? Do you own any of these cards? Are you looking to get into any of these cards? Are you selling these cards? Talk to me about it. Let me know what you guys think. If you have not subscribed yet, guys, we're almost to 200 videos on the channel. And also, something I want to throw out there. My wife and I are looking at, I'm going to make a video that's kind of mixing it up. I'm going to the personal finance side in a couple of days with a why I'm buying Tesla stock. So for those that are kind of, that are into kind of all things investing, stay tuned for that one as well. I'm going to mix that in with the collectibles investing, sports card stuff that I typically do, but thought that it would be interesting to talk about. We're almost to 200 videos. Hey guys, if you haven't subscribed and you've watched this far, get on the train. Keep going with us. We're putting out daily videos, having a blast doing it. Thank you again for joining us. We'll see you again next time.